There is another type of victim of mass school shootings that aren't often discussed: the survivors, those that witnessed the horrors, the gruesome deaths of schoolmates, teachers in a place that previously felt safe. They lived, but they live with the trauma of those events, wounds that are often forced back open when history repeats. School shootings in the U.S. began to make headlines following the 1999 massacre at Columbine High School in Colorado. 3 years later, a former student opened fire at Appalachian School of Law in Southwest Virginia. 3 people were killed and 3 others were injured in that shooting. Peter Tsaharidis survived the Appalachian Law School shooting, and he joins me now. Peter, thank you so much for joining us. You messaged me as I was first reporting this tragic news to tell me that you were a school shooting survivor. What do you want people to know that we don't understand?
Hi, Lana. The pain 20 years later is real. It's a nightmare to see that this is happening to a younger generation. I call it generational genocide. It's not just Generation X, Y, and Z. You have a new generation, Generation Alpha, that was born in 2007 onward, and now they are experiencing this tragedy. I feel for the parents. I cried all last night, and I promised myself that I would do that. So I say to the politicians, if you want to see someone 20 years later, this is what it looks like. Because, sorry.
No apologies necessary.
I really feel, I have 3 kids, and I'm 47 years old father. And you know what my American dream is now, Lana? My American dream is that they make it to 18 years old. That's the American dream. And if they make it to 18, they have a shot to have that rest of that American dream. And the values are messed up in America, and we have split values. There's a couple things we can do, though, that can help. Just like your last guest, Linda, was saying, we can have federally funded resource officers at every school. We can incorporate veterans. We can make sure we're speaking the same language. What is a mass shooting? Mine was not considered a mass shooting. Do you know why, Lana? Because not that many people died, but many got shot. So we should change the definition of mass shooting to people who are shot. Someone could come in and shoot 30 people and they could all live. It's still a mass shooting.
Yeah. And in fact, that is how CBS categorizes it and does in fact consider what you've lived through as a mass shooting. Peter, you've gone on, it seems, to make the most of your life. You have advanced degrees in law, psychology. As you mentioned, you're a father. But when you hear about another school shooting, this time at Robb Elementary School, what does that bring up for you?
I know what the fathers are feeling, because one of the students in my shooting died in my arms. And I had to go to her father and tell him that I was the last person that his daughter talked to. And that was hard.
I understand you were an Army reservist at the time. You were trying your hardest to save her life. Do you remember what you said to that father?
I said, your daughter died bravely, and she did. And she wasn't alone. And I had help too. There was other people there helping. And one of them I want to mention, who's silent like me, my generation, we don't say too much, but was Cameron Udall. She helped me a lot, and we comforted Angela Dales, who was the nicest person. And she was special. I'm not as special, but she was.
I will not allow you. I will not allow you to talk yourself down. Not on my air.
Sorry.
It's all right, Peter.
But
You know,
she was special.
I have to ask you, since it's been 20 years since the tragic shooting that you survived at the Appalachian School of Law. So far this year, there's been more than 20 school shootings in the United States. How do you feel when you think about the progress that our country has made regarding school shootings?
I unfortunately don't think the same way as your previous guest, bless her, though. And I think we've been ignored. Every generation now for 20 years has been ignored, and every generation has been impacted. I am scared to death as a parent, and I'm a gun owner, and I'm a U.S. Marine, and I'm still scared to death. And I tell you what, I would give all that up to bring back one child that that was lost.
Peter, I know that this has been really hard for you and that you don't often tell your story. You're not one of the people who's often quoted. And I so appreciate you trusting us to come on and share how it feels for you. Peter Tsaharidis, thank you.